welcome back to the Daily Missile. I have the Ultra 43 fork sent by Rfloxa right here. On the bottom corner of the video you can see. I'm going to be installing this on my 2026 Surron Ultra B, the standard version, which installing these forks applies to the 2024 model, 2025, and 2026 model. So the way of installing these forks will be the same for each model, and this is not a scripted video. I can say whatever I want about this. And so far with my Talaria XXX build, I have the Rfloxa forks. I believe it's a Hawk 32s, and then I am using the rear shock, and so far I love it. And now it's time for me to install these forks, which I have on my right side, and give you a full review on it. So with all that said, let's get to it. Okay, so right here I have the bearings that you're going to need to get separately from the forks, because these new forks, they don't come with the bearing installed on it. And I did not get the $60 like extension so you can install these, but I'm going to try to do it as safely as possible, so you guys will be able to see that too. Here I have the, whoa, these are nice. So here I have the product factory inspection report, diagnostics, I believe, and this is the manual that you're going to want to read, which I've already read it before. And then these are actually decals that you could put on the forks. Okay, put these aside, and here are these beauties. Okay, so here you can see the top headset clamp. Damn, these are beautiful. Let's set these back because I won't need these right now. Which way is it at? Probably like this. Yeah. Okay, and now with the forks, let's take these puppies off. And you can see the top of these. So this is your rebound and this is your preload, right? No, this is your rebound. This is the preload, my bad. Man, these are chunky. Okay, so starting when you're putting the bearings on, sometimes these will come with grease on it, but these are just not enough grease. And I'm going to be getting this part, making sure that it lines up correctly. You won't need that silver part. So here it goes on like this. So this goes on first. Just let that slide down. Now to give it some pressure, and just like that it's on. And then you're going to want to install these on. But before you install these on, you're going to want to put some grease on it, which I use Maxima grease each time, which of course not sponsored, but it's what I always use. Okay, here I have the Maxima grease and the bearing. And you don't want to go lightly on this. You want to be able to go and completely grease it all around. Now it's just about fully covered in the grease. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to drop it on the top of the stem, just like so. And it should slide on just like, come on, bam. Okay, so now it has slid on. I'm going to want to go and clean up my hands. Okay. And you want to get a clean part. And you're going to want to go up here and clean off the grease from the very top. Just like that. You don't want any grease on the top while you're tightening the nut. And now you're going to want to go and find a tool where you can push down the bearing. Oh yeah, that's getting it down perfectly. And now let's switch it to the other side to make sure it's being done good. Loosen it a bit, and you're gonna want to make sure it moves freely, which it is currently. Make sure none of these are messed up. Nice. Now it is time to take off the front forks off of the Ultra B. Size 5. and start loosening these sides. You want to keep those black parts for the new forks. Okay. Just like so. You don't need to worry about those black protectors falling out because they're supposed to do that. When you're loosening them, these will fall out because there's no way that it clips onto that screw. I'm going to take my bar pad, just throw it to the side. Here, I believe you're going to need a size, what, 6? So now you're going to be taking the top of these off. So with your size 10, there's 4 screws under the stock fender that you're going to want to be loosening out. So I'm going to go under here. Now when you take your front fender off of the Ultra B, you're going to take off this front number plate and headlight. So you're going to use a size 5 Allen, and you're going to simply just go and loosen it. And just like so, you're going to have 2 extra screws, which I'm just going to slip off real quick and put these screws on so I do not lose them, because of course you're never going to want to lose your screws. Slip them puppies back on like so. And with this hanging off, if everything looks correct, you can go ahead and fully take off the handlebars, and bam! You're not going to need to use these anymore. You don't even need the screws for it. So I'm going to go and install these back, but without the handlebar on it. And I'm going to leave these screws semi-loose. And with here, you are provided a tool by Surron, so you could go ahead and get that tool and take that off. So this is the Allen that you're provided by Surron with, and you're just simply going to go here and loosen it. And make sure you don't have anything laying on your bike for when you take these forks off, because they can fall. Put that to the side. And like so, your top headset is off. You can set that to the side. And you're going to want to get a hammer and a flathead screwdriver if you don't have the tool. I would recommend you use that so you don't damage this part, but I don't have that tool, so I'm going to go ahead and get a hammer and a flathead screwdriver for that. Now it's finger loose. And be extra cautious when you're letting these forks drop, because your whole bike can fall down. So just keep that in mind as a caution. Like that. So now those are down. You're gonna want to take these and set these to the side as well with all your other pieces. Don't step on that. Pop these off. Use a size 6 for these. Set those aside. And you can just get the caliper and slide it through on the top. You want to take these 2 top pieces out and make sure you don't lose them. And here the bike is just sitting on the stand nicely. These forks suck, dude. Here they are. So now, pick these puppies up, flick them off, flick these top pieces off. Here they are. And to make sure you're not running into any issues, make sure you grab the triple clamp ahead of time. Make sure it's with you. Top triple clamp, you're gonna have these come in the mail separately from the forks. So this is gonna be your handlebar mount, and you get these, you line it up like this. So this is the top part right here, and you're gonna want this you're gonna want the name of the forks to be facing you, and you flip this over, and you whoa, see the holes here, and you're just gonna go and screw these in, and you're gonna be using a star Allen key to put these on. Here I have my star Allen key set. I'm guessing it's gonna be the largest one. So now these are nice and tight on the top. You can have these waiting and sitting on the side, and you're gonna be using most of your stock screws and components to install these new forks on. Grab these beautiful new forks, and you're gonna want to make sure that this part is, so that it's gonna be like a triangle. You're gonna want the top of the triangle to be pointing directly towards you. And now with these, you're gonna have this top part here again. And let's move these to the side a little bit. Actually, I can't, it kind of sucks. And then let's get this part. And here, I'll get this and slip it right onto the top, and you screw it down a little bit. Now you have these on. Just visualize and make sure everything's on correctly. So this is, yep, everything looks good so far. Pushes up, pushes down, and now we can start just going slowly, moving with this here. But properly tightened. Just gonna go here a little bit. Feel these out. Still feels loose, so I'm gonna go a little bit more. A little bit more, just like 1, 2, 3, and perfect. Just put these down, and here you can see just about the whole thing is really close to being finished. I just need to get the front wheel off of these stock forks, which are right there, and I need to put on the sensor, the caliper bracket, and the top of everything. Okay, and now with these, you're gonna want these to be like so, and you're gonna grab this screw, and you're gonna grab this top. Ah, a little itchy. Of course. Okay, so you're gonna grab this, and you can see the big part, install it just like so, and these should be aligned like that. I'm gonna go here with this, which you used earlier, and slide it on like bam. This doesn't feel too right. Make sure you don't force the screw in. Go like so. Like that. You're going to give it a nice little tighten, not too much. Bam, just enough. And that part lightly. Get the other screw, put on the other side, and don't fully tighten these yet, because you're gonna want to make sure they are on properly and how you'd want them to be. And if you don't want them on properly, you wouldn't be watching this video. I'm gonna take this clip off, set that, oh, whoops, set that aside, take this and set it here like so, give it a tie in. And like that, you have your caliper ready to be mounted on your forks, and then you have your sensor on. And now let's go ahead and put the caliper on. Like so. And like that. And with the bottom one now, let's go and tighten it with this. Bring it to the point that I like to tighten it at. Perfect. Just bring it here. Okay, nice. Here, you're gonna want to make sure you have enough line. So I'm gonna go back and loosen this ever so slightly. I'm gonna pull the brake line down, and I'm gonna start with this lower one. Go like that, and then just go and pull this one up, get another zip tie, and just like this. And now it's installed. So you have your brake mount and a caliper on, you have your sensor on, and you have these routed correctly. And I'm gonna go get myself a set of pliers so I can trim these down and start working more on the upper part. Just go ahead, cut these off like that. I'm gonna clean up the garage later. So now these are really nice and cleaned up. You don't need to worry about this rubbing on your tire. And let's start working more so on the upper portion. And you're gonna get your size. Forgot exactly which one it is again. Size 5. Little wiggly, and install this front right here. Everything looks nice and aligned. Now that is tightened on correctly. Everything here looks nice and cleaned up. Man, that looks nice. And I look for my cords that gets hooked up onto my brakes, which that is not one of them. With this new headset mount, I'm going to be finally installing it. And before I actually install that, I want to make sure these are good. Okay, so that's just like triple checking. Triple checking, my bad. And with this, let's put it through the middle of these. And like that. Just give it a little pat. Some of these are a little tight, so I'm going to go and get my tool. I'm going to get your tool, go here, and just lightly loosen them. And with a hammer, you're never going to use this top metal part with this. Now go here with the metal, or not with the metal, the rubber, just pat it down. You don't have to do anything too extra or anything. Just make sure that they're on good. And you don't want to do this all the way and keep just hitting it down, because you're going to get the screw here and you're going to tighten that down, which just compresses everything together. Go ahead, get this top. And, oh no! Let's go and grab this. Get this. This feels odd. Okay, here we go. Scale issue. Just go on the top. And bam. Spin it with your finger. And you're just gonna go on the top and tighten it like so. Yep. Oh, let's set that down, and let's go ahead and get the tool again for these. Okay. And with that, just like this, you put 2 screws on the top of these. And you're gonna put the other ones in. What is step on? Oh. Okay, I want these to be perfectly centered, like it is currently. So like this, and then, okay, everything looks good. So let's line this part up. Okay, everything seems to be on properly. And then I have all the wire management good right there. So let's get this and my size 10mm again and tighten down this part. And like that, these are installed and wiring looks perfect on them. Okay, now you're gonna get your stock fender and put these screws on, line it up and screw it on. So the rear right one, it's all done. So that's how you get the whole top part in plus a fender, and all we have to do now is just put on the front wheel and we are good. Here's the front, and let's go ahead and get my 5mm, which is right here. I believe this is the 5mm finally. No! My 5mm is right here. So let's go and get these pinching bolts off. Oh, okay. Ah. Dang it. Okay, so let's go ahead and right here. There we go. Put this to the side, and that's a lot of dirt. So let's push this like here, and let's pull up this front axle. Dang it. Like that. Holy, okay. Make sure there's, okay, so I'm gonna get these actually, I'm gonna clean them off and add some more grease onto them. Helps them live longer. Let's go get some more Maxima grease. Put a coat on this one. Try to spread it out as much as possible. And you can just slide it back on. Spin smooth like it should. And now it's just time to install it back on the bike. And when you have your wheel in, you're going to make sure you slide this in at the very start. But don't slide it too much. And make sure that brake rotor goes in the caliper. Here I'm getting some clearance issues. Just like that. So go ahead and put it back on. So let's do this. Make sure the caliper is on the rotor perfectly. Let's turn this out because that's giving me a little bit of issues too. And let's get that. Axle is in one part of the wheel. And if everything is lined up, it should slide right through. And like so. You just rub that off, and then you can get your rag, go here, wipe off the rest of the grease because you're not going to need that, and that's just going to get a bunch of dirt stuck in between here. Other side, doesn't matter too much. Like that, you're going to want to get this. There's a lot of dirt in there, and I don't want it messing up the axle or the installation. So let's go back and grab my tool, my size 8mm Allen. And this is just getting all the dirt off. Clean it off, see, just like that. Get as much dirt off as possible. And you're gonna go here and just tighten this part up. Should not wiggle at all. Spins freely. Let's go ahead, add some pressure. Let's go with these. I'm set to how I feel comfortable with them, which is like that for that side. And this side, I like them like this. And finish with tightening these. And then left hand, or not left hand, left side, like so. With your front wheel going freely, all you have to do is work on the top, which you're done tightening the handlebars, the brakes are how you like them, the bars are how you like them. You have to go and tighten the top of here. Make sure that they won't go anywhere. Those feel nice. So let's go on this side. And just like so. That's good. Let's tighten this. That's definitely 17. And with that, your brand new Ultra 43 front forks are installed on your Surron Ultra B. Now that I have these installed, I am taking this to Paris Raceway tomorrow to just go over a full review, make sure I have my suspension tuned how I like it for this next upcoming race at eMoto Racing Live. So with that, I'll see you at Paris Raceway. Okay, we're back here at Paris Raceway, the little pit bike track, and I have the Ultra B here. I have the brand new forks on, and so far I just went around, did a few braking tests, and it feels really nice. So let's go and boogie on the track. feel nice. I haven't even tuned them yet. Yeah, these actually feel like mad good. I'm gonna go out the track. Let's put in sport mode and let's really feel these out. Oh no, the Yasma. Okay, we're back in the Talaria. We got the Rfloxa Hawk 32 front forks paired with the rear shock that Rfloxa sells. And let's hop back onto the track. Super smooth. Dive in a corner and just dive bomb. Right now I'm in mode 2. This is like 16 kilowatts. Go and hook this turn is go on the rear. That was a nice save on the chain. keeping up. Okay, thank you guys for watching. This concludes my installation review on the Rfloxa front forks, as well as the Rfloxa front and rear suspension setup on my Talari XXX. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for my next videos, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.